Gonna make a change.
If you're gonna pick a shop in Ireland
Yeah.
for Michael Jackson to turn up in, I have to say, and it's no disrespect, you wouldn't pick one on Bastion Street in the middle of Athlone.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, so how did it happen?
I think Claire, who was the owner of Grouse Lodge, she...
Oh,
That's a recording studio where
yes,
Michael was recording
yes,
music.
exactly,
Yeah.
and he lived there for 5 months, so she comes in and she brought Grace, who was Michael's partner, I think, at the time, and so I maybe she was telling him about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he decided he wanted to make a trip in and visit.
I don't know. I think they were probably always looking for places that could go.
And did his people like ring ahead and say he's going to be here? And
Yeah.
How did that go?
Good. Yeah. Just got a phone call and Claire said, "Would you mind opening the shop for somebody some night? I can't tell you who it is, but I'll come in and tell you."
Right.
And I said, "Sure."
And then, and so what time in the evening was it?
He arrived around 7, I suppose, in the evening. Yeah.
And were you here on your own?
My son, who is actually a photographer living in London, he was here with me. When he came home for the weekend, I said, "I have a very important customer coming in at the weekend." He said, "Who is it?" I said, "Michael Jackson, but don't tell anyone." And he thought I had lost the plot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fair
And
enough.
Elvis and Tina
said,
Turner will be here for lunch.
Yeah.
So he walks in the door.
He walks in the door.
What was he wearing?
He was wearing a hat, a baseball hat, and I think a Mickey Mouse t-shirt and jeans.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people used to say they were surprised at how tall he was.
Yes, he was tall. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did he like? Are you allowed to look him in the eye and talk to him and all those kind of
Yeah,
things?
he was kind of. We kind of left him alone. First of all, we
Yeah.
just said, "Very welcome, Michael," and so he walked around and kind of picked up everything and examined everything, and and then towards the end, Mark was chatting to him more than I was. But yeah, we were chatting away.
About what?
Mark was chatting about music.
At that time I was actually really kind of chatting to him, not even chatting, but at the very kind of end, there's this awkward moment when they didn't really have much security with them, but they were obviously security conscious, and so the kids went out first with the nanny and the driver was out there, and so there was this weird moment where myself and Mom and Michael Jackson are just standing there at the door of the shop, and it was like this weird kind of silence, and I had gone out and bought these CDs specifically to get them signed that day, and a woman who kind of brought him in, I said, "Come to get him to sign them, I don't want to hassle him," and she said, "Yeah, no problem." And so we're standing there, and Mom thought I still had these CDs, so she goes, "Oh, Michael, I think Mark has something he wants you to sign." And so then Michael Jackson looks over to me, like expectant, like a child at Christmas, and I'm like, "Oh no, I gave them to you once, she has them for you," and it was just really awkward.
I love that's your abiding Michael Jackson memories, just standing there awkwardly. He's like, "No, I don't have them."
Did you talk about music at all?
Well, this is the thing, right? So then I said to him, like, to fill the awkward void, I said, "So, Michael, you listen to any good CDs these days?" And I was really hoping to get, like, a recommendation so that, like, I could, break the CD out and be like, "Yeah, Michael Jackson recommended this." And he just goes to me in, like, the most, like, Disney voice ever. He just goes, "Oh, I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to everything."
How utterly useless.
But then it gets worse. So my follow-up question was, "So, like, are you recording any new music?" And he goes, "I write songs all the time."
That's amazing.
And that was it. And then he kind of ran out and got into the back of his van, and they slid the door closed and kind of tinted windows, but you could see through. And they all started waving really vigorously, like frantically. And then all of a sudden they just pulled down this big blind, and then just drove off, and that was it. And then myself and my mom were just standing there like.
What just happened? What was he like as a human? Was he sound like?
No, he was lovely. Yeah, he was really sweet, kind of gentle soul. Yeah.
What did he buy?
I can't tell you what he bought, but he left his receipt behind him on the counter.
Right.
Did he
Come
sign
this
it?
way.
So-
Come this way.
You can't say it, but we might be able to read it.
But, yeah, well, it's like an old-fashioned.
Yeah.
So this is
Oh, right, this is the full
his
length.
receipt.
Right, so you got
Oh
his
my
receipt
goodness.
framed, which he must have bought a lot of stuff
It's
because
about a yard long.
yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
So how much did he spend? all
Just
together.
hidden down the bottom. You'd have to do the maths.
Guess.
I'm gonna guess if over $1,000, is it?
2 hours.
You've answered that question before.
Now I see you have a signed picture. Did he sign that like for you, or is that another one that you got somewhere else?
It was one that he must have signed some out in Grouse Lodge. So.
Okay.
And I see you've also framed the confidentiality agreement,
Yes,
which says
yes.
that if you did tell us
Yes.
what he bought and how much he spent, you'd have to pay him $10 million
$10
US
million,
dollars.
yes.
So you're probably better off keeping
I
your mouth
know.
shut.
Was it your first shop?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what made you want to own a shop?
I'm probably unemployable.
So you had to employ yourself.
to
I
be the
think
boss.
so. Yeah, I need to be the boss. Yeah.
But is there? I mean, I have a 5-year-old girl,
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
Her favorite game is to play shop at home.
Right,
She
okay.
has like tiny fake groceries. And,
Yes, okay.
We have to actually buy them with real money.
Yes, okay. All right.
Do you think there's a little girl in you that always wanted to play shop, and now you're doing
Probably.
it for real?
In fact, actually, I grew up in this building, and this was an empty shop as I was growing up, and I used to play shop here.